It's the 31st of October 2020 to the last day of the month of October. We only have 2 more months to get to the end of the year 2022. Time flies so fast, I can't even explain. A very good morning. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra. Today at 9:11 a.m. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I know it's a Monday and it's always one of those days that just jolts you into the week, but well, with good plans and with you understanding that you are able to do anything that you put your hands to, I hope you do whatever you put your mind to. My name is Sharon Chondisha and welcome once again to Good Morning Uganda Extra. Today is such a beautiful day because we get to always discuss, on Good Morning Uganda Extra, we get to always discuss pertinent issues and things that we believe are important for the world and for people who are watching every single morning. Now, the official figure of those who have lost their lives to COVID-19 virus from the Ministry of Health currently stands at 3,630, but there are many more people who we lost as an indirect result of the pandemic. In memory of those that passed on, My Tree Initiative has dedicated itself to combating climate change and enriching people's lives through planting 1 million trees. In studio with me are two beautiful ladies, young at that, very dedicated on this agenda. One is Aurelia Pal, the Public Relations Manager, My Tree Initiative, and Akandinda Kathy, who is the Programs Manager, who are very dedicated and want to have a conversation about why COVID-19 happened, but why the planting of trees in memory of those that died is very important. A very good morning.
A very good morning to...
Can you please introduce yourselves?
Aurelia Pal, Public Relations, My Tree Initiative, and I'm glad to be here this morning.
Good morning. I'm Akandinda Kathy, Program Manager, My Tree Initiative, and I'm glad to be here today to share with you about My Tree Initiative and the Million Tree Challenge.
Okay. You seem like you're very young people. How are you even a part of the My Tree Initiative?
Yeah, we believe the future, the present is all based about children and the youth. So it's better we tackle this when we're still young, that we can inspire more. So it's better we start it when we are still young and youthful, so that it moves in future well.
Kathy, what is My Tree Initiative about?
My Tree Initiative, it's a non-profit organization. It's all about environmental conservation. It's mostly a team of young people. We are all about conserving the environment and involving different kinds of people in many different ways and in their sectors, so that we can conserve the environment together, so that we can tell people out there, you know, how the environment is losing out, so that people out there can join us and we conserve the environment together.
Okay. When was My Tree Initiative started?
It was started in 2019.
Okay.
Yes.
And what was the background? What was the reason as why it was pushed into existence?
The reason why it was pushed into existence, we in the 20s, when the climate is being deteriorated, like everything is going the abnormal way, like environment-wise, we see flooding, eruptions, and the climate is getting to its worst. So the best idea was, when we start My Tree Initiative, and we consider planting trees, not only considering planting, but also nurturing and protecting them. That was the best idea to do, because we need air, not oxygen made in hospitals. Yes, at some time we need it, but the primary thing will be planting trees so that we can live in a eco-friendly environment and world.
You're talking about natural calamities being one of the reasons as to why this was formed, but those are natural calamities. They'll happen regardless.
Yeah, they will happen, but we know prevention is better than cure. We can't control them when they come, but at least we can put in place something that can at least prevent them from not to come. Because like flooding, yes, it's natural, but when we put out measures at first, we know we can at least harbor it.
Okay. Kathy, what was the first project that My Tree Initiative started out with? And what exactly was that?
The very first project My Tree Initiative started out with, since it's like we are trying to bring young people on board to avoid environmental degradation and to conserve the environment, we started with planting trees while engaging schools, most especially primary schools. That's the very first project My Tree Initiative started with.
And how many trees were those? And what are some of the schools that were involved?
The trees, I cannot tell you how many trees they were.
Because, for example, this project, you have 1 million trees. That's the goal. So for the first project, do you remember how many trees were a goal?
I don't really remember, but they were 50 and above trees. That's all I can tell you.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've talked about schools. Are schools involved in these projects?
Yes, they are.
How were you able to persuade them to be able to be a part of these projects?
You know, this is a very good idea. I do not think anyone out there who would hear about such, and anyone enlightened about climate change would turn it down. So whenever we walked into schools and talked to the heads of schools about this, they would just buy the idea. And because it also helps those kids to grow up knowing how good it is to protect their environment. So it would also ease while they are being taught in class, because they have practiced what they are being taught. And so while they are being taught in class, they at least know what they are being taught and they're interested, so they'll easily catch up. So the schools easily bought the idea, and then they accepted us to even plant trees within the schools. Yes.
Which kind of trees are we talking about? Is it that it's just a matter of planting any sort of tree, or it's particular trees that would help with climate change?
For like starters, we started by planting those big trees that, you know, those big trees that were becoming extinct, yet very helpful. Those trees that can control flooding, the mivules, those big trees, those ones that would take long to grow, but once they grow, they will stay there forever. You know how they were becoming, people had now started cutting them down to get timber and all that, because they're high-priced trees. But then later on, we thought of a way to like get more of people's attention. We started planting fruit trees. Yeah, because they would protect the environment and they'll still get food out of them. Yes.
Anything else to add on, Paul?
Yeah, at the start, we even made some camping, like in Michana. There was something like a swamps, you know, swamps, yeah. Because we know floods, when flooding comes, it has to reach some destinations, but also some destinations are being used, you see. Like now rice farmers use those swamps. So we found out some place in Michana where we camped for like a week. We planted those big trees that can harbor water and also provide like shadings for animals, because when you plant those, that means even farming will take place, like animal farming. So that was the start, even involving schools, which was a big deal. And it took place.
Okay. You talked about when you move out of Kampala, you actually realize that there's so many trees being planted, and yes, maybe it's out of, you know, people making money, so it's because of business, but there's so many people that are planting trees. And we also sort of have trees in the city. They're not so many because, again, construction, development, all those things, those are some of the reasons as to why these trees are cut down. Where exactly do you plant trees as My Tree Initiative?
As My Tree Initiative, let's say we've now reached to a company that carries out manufacturing, because you know there is pollution and what. It can't be all constructed at once. They always have like gardens somewhere, So we ask their permissions if they accept to partner with us or accept us to plant with them trees. So we ask them. If they don't have even a place, we give them ideas of how to engage somewhere, get some land so that they can find some extra space to add to the environment. like now it's a company, it's carrying out pollution first, so it won't be a good idea not having some extra space. So we encourage them to buy somewhere, either, even if it's not around town, but somewhere where we know it's their place, so that they can plant their trees, as long as it's their premises, because they are causing pollution first, so they have to add to prevent.
One of the areas, or most areas that are affected by floods, which is one of the things that you continuously talk about in our conversation, is areas around mountains, or mountains mostly, so like Mbale and certain areas. Are you planting trees in such areas? Because those are the most prone areas to flooding. Kathy?
No, we've not yet started planting trees there, but we are going to do that with time, because I believe we are now just like 2 years old, and then the coming of COVID-19 also held us back a little while we were progressing at a very fast rate. Now that it's all gone, thanks be to God, I believe we are going to reach that far. So we curb flooding around mountainous areas.
How many trees have you so far planted as My Tree Initiative?
Yeah, over 7,000.
Okay.
As we have.
In different parts of Kampala, or
Uganda?
Uganda?
Around Kampala, not Uganda, around Kampala. Yeah.
Okay. My other question, again, Kathy. COVID-19 comes in. This My Tree Initiative was birthed in 2019. And that's the year where COVID-19 sort of took a toll. And I think in December and January we were in a lockdown and all. And COVID-19 happened. And that's why this initiative makes so much sense.
I personally, I was not affected, but of course I have relatives who are affected, and also my teammates have a lot of relatives who are affected. So that's why this Million Tree Challenge, 24-hour remembrance makes a lot of sense to us and to the entire Uganda. I believe it's not all about me, but it's all about the people out there. Yes.
Paul, COVID-19.
Yeah, I personally was affected somewhat. I stayed with my auntie, and during that period, all of them got sick. They were working in town, so by that time they got sick. So me taking care of them, I realized the effect of how other people were affected. Let's say a family member died, because I faced how it was rough looking after them. Then I also imagined how would it sound if I lost one of them. So that's why it makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
Okay. You're talking about the 1 million tree challenge. Yes. Tell me more about that. Kathy, I'll start with you.
The 1 million tree challenge, it was birthed in November last year, and you see we were amidst COVID-19, if I may say, though I think it was like coming to an end, but that's when the idea was birthed. And it was birthed after that turmoil that had happened when people, this last wave, people actually died a lot. Many people lost their lives due to COVID-19. And us, as My Tree Initiative, we thought about honoring their lives, because some of them were great countrymen and countrywomen, actually everyone. Though some of them were not like maybe working in government, but they were all citizens of Uganda. We thought of honoring their lives and also making their loved ones feel loved, even in the absence of their loved ones, by coming up with a Million Tree Challenge and making these people buy this idea, and they join us in honoring the lives of those that lost their loved ones due to COVID-19. And also, these people, whenever they will look at these trees, they will remember their loved ones, and it will not stop at that. They would have conserved the environment and promoted sustainability. Yeah. So we thought that would be a good idea to conserve the environment and promote sustainability also.
Anything else to add, Paul?
Yeah. The idea of the 1 million tree challenge came after, we know every office, every family, religious places, everyone lost a friend, a relative, a workmate. So in a way, because we were not able to bury them, or remember, it was like restricted, like a few people would go and bury. And that is like a punishment to most of us, because we would love to send off our loved ones in a better way. But that didn't happen. So in a way of making the family realize how the person who died had an impact on the family, or else remember them well, we decided to create up this 1 million tree challenge. In a way that after that trauma, depression, after the COVID-19 pandemic, and not being able to attend burials, the way of planting trees idolizes them, in that after planting a tree, either it's a mango tree, avocado tree, in members, let's say of Oliver or someone else, you can say, yes, she died, but I've got something I can remember her from. So that was the best thing. Idolizing them through trees is the best way, because it protects the environment and at the same time leaves a very better legacy of the person who died. So that was the best idea ever. Yeah.
Why trees? There's so many other issues that are affecting Ugandans, and a bit more pronounced. For example, when you look at Karamoja right now, they have so many people who are dying because of hunger. There's so many other issues. So why are trees the best alternative, or the initiative that you are thinking about as My Tree Initiative?
We believe we live in an eco-friendly environment. So where trees are not, we too can't. Yeah, there is hunger. There are other ways of combating hunger. But yes, we know that hunger is so crucial now about Karamoja. But COVID-19 too is something not to underestimate. It affected us greatly, not only Uganda, but the whole world. So turning to trees is because we love them so much. We love them and they love us too. Where they are not, we can't be there. So,
Kathy, anything else to add?
I think she has said it all.
Okay. Moving on from that, so the 1 million tree challenge, how can we be involved?
The 1 million tree challenge, I'll first of all want to tell you that our team, we are very welcoming, and we are so flexible that we actually can work or engage with anyone in these activities we are running. So I don't think like there is really a measure you people should take to join MTI, though it's all about registering and contacting our CEO and assistant. That's how you can join MTI, because this is for now it's like a country activity, but as time goes on it's going to be a world activity. So how are people going to register to join if it's now part of the whole world? I mean, and the thing we are doing is for conserving the entire world. So why would people really need permission to do this and do that? I'm kindly requesting anyone out there who is enthusiastic about the environment and protecting the environment to join us, and we conserve our environment now that issues of climate change are rising, and even certain pandemics that are coming up is because I think of climate change, like the trees have been cut down and these animals have rare diseases and they no longer have where to stay. You find they are in contact with humans, for instance, like monkeys and other animals. Don't you really think they also are, that is also part of what's causing these epidemics that keep coming up? So if these monkeys had where to stay and they are not in touch with humans, maybe these rare diseases wouldn't be coming up. So I believe everyone out there, even if maybe you do not have capacity to access MTI or get in touch with us in person, you could be there and still plant trees well there to honor the world and to conserve the environment. And to, I mean, at the end of it all, the world will be a beautiful place for each one of us.
So do you believe that actually are you trying to say that if we continue planting trees, we might not have issues of epidemics? For example, Ebola being the biggest one now?
I'm not saying we might not have them, because we do not know what is about to come or what, but like Pearl had talked about earlier, you never know how much we can prevent. So maybe we could prevent something that was about to come even after Ebola that we actually don't know of, if we do not get in touch with these animals. Because in actual sense, we love them, but that's why they were created differently from us. They have to have their habitats also as we have to have ours. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kathy. So we will take a short commercial break for now, and we'll be back more about the 1 million tree initiative, and one that is actually by My Tree Initiative, meant to conserve the environment and make people live in a better eco-friendly environment.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that there are confirmed cases of Ebola in Uganda. We, however, urge the public not to panic as the situation is being managed. The Ministry of Health further reminds the public to be on the lookout for any persons who may show signs and symptoms of Ebola. These include high body temperature, abdominal pains, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding from the body openings such as the nose, eyes, and mouth. Please inform the nearest health worker immediately if you see anyone with these signs and symptoms. To prevent Ebola from spreading further, please take the following preventive measures: regular washing of hands with water and soap, avoid handshaking and hugging, avoiding any contact with any suspected Ebola patients. Any person who dies suddenly should not be buried but reported to the nearest health worker or LC1 immediately. For further information, please call the Ministry of Health toll-free number on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and World Health Organization.
In the year 2020, the world was brought to standstill because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We lost friends, we lost relatives, we lost workmates during that very, very trying time. And we decided that we could remember them by establishing what we call the Remember Me book. We also appeal all Ugandans to plant a tree. We are aiming at 1 million trees in memory of those who departed from us.
We call upon individuals and institutions that lost any loved one to join us by donating and dedicating 1,000 trees at 1 million Ugandan shillings or more. To donate, trees call 0700 513 660. This message is brought to you by My Tree Initiative.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
With over 450,000 trees being planted by My Tree Initiative, they're halfway the target. So much has happened, and that is an achievement for My Tree Initiative. But they still have a campaign of planting 1 million trees, a campaign that is already ongoing, but anyone is allowed to actually hop on. And we're still here with Kathy and Pearl, dedicated members of the My Tree Initiative, who are here to tell us more about the 1 million tree campaign and why it's even important to be a part of this. Now, the campaign is already ongoing. We've seen with just the played, there's a clip that just played, and we saw General Wamala calling upon people to donate and be a part of the initiative. Donation, so that means that I can donate trees?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Do I have a limited number? Is it according to what I can do? What's the process like?
The process is each tree is 1,000. So you decide according to how you wish, how you feel like contributing from 1,000 one tree till.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are you buying these trees?
We buy them, we are in partnership with National Forestry Authority. That's where we get the trees from. Yes.
Okay. And who are some of the people that have come on board to actually be a part of the initiative?
Mr. Okay. General Katumba Wamala, Dr. Maggie Chigozi, Dr. Karusa Chiragu, and we is it Dr. Amelia Chambade? Is she a doctor, if I may say, or I don't know, Mrs. Amelia Chambade. All those people have come up. We believe engaging them would bring these other ones. You know how they are top government officials?
Yes.
And they are buying the idea of environmental conservation, and they are public figures. We believe if people saw them, they would buy the idea of conserving the environment. Yes.
Okay. And who have you reached out to? Who have you reached out as well? Those are individuals that are part of the campaign now or are part of NTI. But who are some of the other companies, hotels, or whatever that are part of the initiative as well?
On this ending month, we reached out to different entities, companies, hotels. And among these were Fairway Hotel that worked with us. Then we have Sheraton also contributed trees. We have banks. All of those gave us a lot of efforts and really helped us a lot. We have Liberty Insurance, Aroya Organic. Then we have even families, friends. Those that are coming up and contributing. We have Uganda Friendly Services. We have the KK Advocates. All those came up and contributed with us. K and K.
Advocates.
Yes.
Ah, okay. And what about the youth, the young people?
The young people, actually, we are more than those big people and those companies. Every young people, every young person has bought the idea of planting trees. Some we just talk to them, others, like we told you earlier, schools, universities. Every young person has come on board to conserve the environment.
Okay.
Now that they know what it means to live in a sustainable environment, every young person has bought the idea.
Okay. And so when we go back to tree planting, where do you think this is going to put us in even a year to come if we have really planted the 1 million trees?
If we really plant the 1 million trees, it so happens that almost every year there is like floods, and then there is a way it shines for long these days, unlike those days, because there is more pollution and industrialization these days. So there is a way it shines more than it actually used to. That means we are most likely to face global warming. But when we plant these 1 million trees, maybe we can combat it. So as time goes on, we are quite sure that we are gonna combat global warming.
Okay.
Yes.
Paul, anything to add?
Yeah, not only that, the serenity and the beauty of the city. There is some part of the town where you reach and you say, wow, you can feel the breeze.
It's like when you're actually moving to Entebbe side.
Oh my God, it's
yes, there are so many trees and it's so beautiful.
And
so
it's cool.
Yeah,
The weather is
very
cool.
true. But also maybe because Lake Victoria.
Yeah,
that I've
the
been
lake is
to
also being
Sheraton.
polluted.
We went to Sheraton sometime. We came when it was shining and we were all burning out. But we reached in, and you can't guess, the breath has its own scent event. So we believe when we plant them all over, like the city, all over the places, some things will really change. Yeah, the air we breathe also affects us in some way, so we believe it will be a great move. Yeah.
And for how long is this campaign going to go on? Do you have new campaigns every single year? or this one might take a bit longer because you're recognizing and remembering over 3,630 people that have passed on from COVID. So you're planting to remember.
Yeah, we're planting to remember. We started, it has taken all this year, but the actual planting is taking place on 8th November. So that's from 8th November till December. So we will be planting. That's the actual planting. We've been soliciting efforts and accepting donors. But from November till the year ends, that will be the actual planting. And that program will end. So we start up another. But we can't leave our trees. So we're here to nurture them and protect. So after planting, that will be the nurturing process and protecting. Yeah.
Okay. So do you actually follow up on the process? So when you plant, do you ever follow up on how far, how are they grown and all that?
Yes, we always do. Like, we may not do as a team because, of course, after that there are like other activities that are going on. But some of our team members always go back to check on the trees and to give in more of what is required for those trees to grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not only that, like let's say we've planted in schools, you can't tell me those kids or the teachers will leave the trees to die or like that. So by educating them about the trees and accepting them to work with us, they act as our ambassadors in those places. So they always look after them. So when we come, we look after them too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any last remarks to anyone watching out there? I'll start with you, Kathy.
Anyone that is watching us out there, since our mostly based on the youth, since we are still young and vigilant, and most of us are studied and we know we've been educated about sustainability and how we can conserve our environment, I urge all of you to come on board and we conserve our environments together, since we are still young and we have the energy to do that. And maybe our parents, all those people are grown up, yeah, they are concentrating on other things. But us who are still young, let's get together and conserve the environment, because if we do not, it's going to be us who are going to be affected in the future. Our parents are already living in their future. It's us who are actually going in our future. So let's work right now so we live in a better future tomorrow. Thank you.
Anything, Paul?
Yeah. We need to work together to improve this world, and everyone has a role to play in making it a better world. Let it be me or you or her. So in that case, I would call upon combined efforts. If you have a loved one, or you know an institution, or you know someone who lost a loved one, you can't, if you can't do it physically, you can sponsor, because we can plant it for you. We have a Remember Me book, where if you contribute or sponsor, you tell us the name of the person you want to remember, we write it and we plant the tree in remembrance of him or her. So I call upon you to either you sponsor or do it physically. It's all welcome, highly welcome. Yeah.
Do you have a website or who I can call, a number or someone that I can actually talk to if I want to participate?
Yeah,
Can you please look into that?
we have our YouTube channel, My Tree Initiative Uganda. Then we have Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All are in the names of My Tree Initiative.
At My Tree Initiative Uganda.
Then the phone number you can contact.
To go back on our social media platforms, you can reach us out on Twitter at My Tree Initiative Uganda. On Instagram, it's at My Tree Initiative Uganda. Facebook, My Tree Initiative Uganda. YouTube, My Tree Initiative Uganda. Our website is www.mytreeinitiative.org. And the hashtag is #MyTreeInitiative, #MillionTreeChallenge, #24 Hours of Remembrance. And then the phone numbers.
The phone number you can contact Ismail Glenn on 0754 75 47 then 59. I'll repeat it. His code is Ismail Glenn. You can contact him on 075 47 54 75 9.
Okay.
And then
Yes, please.
You can contact Enja Ashraf, who is also the CEO of Maitri Initiative, at 0700 513 660. I repeat it, it's 0700 513 660. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kathy and Pearl. We hope that the 1 million tree initiative, actually people get to listen and contribute and participate and get to remember their loved ones that they lost. But thank you so much as well for thinking about this and for being young and being a part of the initiative. Thank you so much to everyone that has watched. Please be a part of the initiative. It starts on the 8th of November.
Yeah.
That's when the planting is going to be taking place. Reach out to them. Hashtag Maitri Initiative.
No. Hashtag Million Tree Challenge.
Yes, Million Tree Challenge. I beg your
Hashtag
pardon. Thank you.
24 hours of remembrance.
24 hours of remembrance. So
Yes.
reach out, buy a tree or sponsor. Thank you so much for watching Good Morning Uganda Extra. My name is Sharon Chomdisha, and be a part of the initiative. Plant a tree to remember someone or to conserve the environment. Have a good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.